welcome, and thank you for being here. Before we begin, just take a moment to arrive. This series looks at the parent relationship from a systemic perspective, not to assign blame, but to restore order where it may have been lost. This video is about loyalty conflicts and the cost of choosing. One of the deepest pressures a child can feel is the pressure to choose between their parents. Sometimes this is obvious. A parent may say, after everything he did, how can you still want to see him? Or, if you go to her house, don't expect me to be happy about it. But often, loyalty conflicts are much more subtle. They live in the tone of the house, in the sighs, in the silences, in the way one parent's name is spoken or not spoken at all. The child feels something like this. If I love you, I must not love them. And this creates an inner split for the child. From a systemic perspective, this creates a deep split in a child. Because the child is made of both parents, half from one and half from the other. So, when one parent is rejected, blamed, or treated as the problem, the child feels that rejection inside themselves. Not always consciously, but in their body, in their loyalty, in their sense of identity. The child may think, if that part of my parent is bad, what does that say about me? And so the child tries to solve the impossible. They try to stay loyal to both, while not hurting either. In the language of the Wisdom of the Family soul cards, this connects to the principle of loyalty. Loyalty is not something children choose. It's something they're born into. Children are naturally loyal to both parents, even when one parent is absent, difficult, or unsafe. This loyalty lives deep in the system. It doesn't follow logic. It doesn't follow fairness. It does follow belonging. So when the system asks the child to choose, it creates a conflict they cannot truly solve. Because choosing one parent feels like betraying the other, and betraying either parent feels like betraying themselves. How do children cope with loyalty conflicts? Children develop many different strategies to survive this inner tension. Some become the defender of one parent. They take on that parent's story, anger, or pain. Some become very neutral and quiet. They try not to show preference for either side. Some distance themselves from both parents because that feels safer than choosing. And some carry guilt for loving one parent more, for wanting distance, or even just for feeling relief in one home over the other. These are not personality traits, they are systemic adaptations. Ways the child tries to survive an impossible emotional position. So I'm asking, what is the long-term cost of choosing? When a child feels they must choose, the effects often continue into adulthood. They may struggle with relationships and commitment. They may feel guilty for having their own preferences. They may fear conflict or avoid it completely. They may feel split inside without knowing why. They may distance themselves from one side of the family. Or they may carry unresolved anger toward both parents. All of this can begin with one simple, painful inner sentence. I can only love one of you safely. And that's sad. What supports the child most? Systemically, the child needs one thing above all: freedom to love both parents. Not because both parents were perfect, not because everything should be forgiven, but because the child comes from both. This doesn't mean the parents have to agree with each other. It doesn't mean there is no conflict. It simply means that neither parent asks the child to take sides, and neither parent positions the other as someone who does not belong. When both parents are allowed their place, the child's loyalty no longer has to split, and something inside the child can relax. Let me introduce you to a simple systemic movement. Sometimes the shift begins with a very small inner change. A parent might hold a sentence like, "You are free to love your other parent. That does not take anything away from me." Or, "Your relationship with them is yours. It's not a betrayal of me." And for adult children, a healing movement might sound like, "I don't have to choose. I can let both of you have your place inside me." These are quiet sentences, but systemically they're powerful because they release the child from the cost of choosing. From a systemic perspective, loyalty is not the problem. Loyalty is natural. The problem begins when the child's loyalty is put under pressure and they are asked to divide themselves to protect the system. When both parents are allowed their place, the child no longer has to choose, and the system becomes lighter for everyone. If something in this video stirred a reaction, you don't have to resolve it right now. Systemic shifts happen slowly, often just by seeing things more clearly. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. In order to do that, please subscribe, click like. If you want to share the video, feel free to do so. And I would love it if you would leave a comment below. Let's expand the information. Let's expand the conversation. Thank you for being here, and be safe until next time.